Hi all, hope you're doing really well. Did you notice the two lenses? A few months ago I put out a piece on the number of lenses you really need and how you might decide on which ones to buy. I'll link to that in the description below. Today I'm going to talk about lenses one more time. I had the good fortune to take a vacation recently. What's that, you ask? It's that thing we all used to do when we could leave home without fear of contracting a deadly disease. Remember those days? Many of us are getting out again now, if only within a day's drive of home. A good starting point for sure. A day's drive from home for me takes me to one of the bird migration capitals of North America, Point Pelee National Park in Ontario, Canada. I had the good fortune to go there this spring to experience bird migration firsthand. I'll post some live on-the-scene stuff hopefully in the future, but for now, just a bit of a backstory. This video is about a discovery I made while photographing those same birds, specifically that the lens and the camera combination that I used on the trip left a lot to be desired. That lens, well, it's the Sigma 150-600 contemporary telephoto zoom, used with the Canon EOS R5. More on that in a moment, but of course, first, if that story is of interest, please consider subscribing to my channel and hit the bell to be notified of new content. I would really appreciate it. Thank you. So, what am I talking about? Well, when the Canon EOS R5 was released in 2020, it came with features and functions not seen in a Canon camera before. One of those features was eye detect, which is the ability to have the camera automatically find and place a focus point on any eye that it finds within the camera's field of view. It saves you the trouble of chasing moving subjects manually to lock onto their eyes. And it does it superbly well. Most reviewers agree. You'll still need to focus, though, once you have that actual spot on the eye by using servo focus operation, which is the continuous focus mode for Canon DSLRs and mirrorless cameras. There are a lot of videos available on how to configure focus to be the most efficient through the use of back button autofocus, and that's how I've set up my Canon EOS R5 camera. I'll link to a couple of those videos in the description below in case you're interested in doing that yourself. At the time the camera was released, and shortly after, Canon also released several new native RF mount lenses, superbly designed to work seamlessly with the R5. Canon also provided us with the ability to adapt native EF mount lenses, both Canon and third-party, through a simple adapter, and therein lies the problem, and the reason for this video. The native RF mount lenses first released by Canon were the higher-end products, superbly designed as mentioned, but also superbly expensive. So many of us, including me, took the option of adapting older lenses first. One of those older lenses for me was the Sigma 150-600 f5 to f6.3 contemporary telephoto zoom, first released by Sigma in 2015. And that's the one thing that should have alerted me out of the gate. There is a 5-year difference in technologies between this lens and the camera. Firmware updates to the lens and the camera can only go so far in ensuring good performance when the age spread between any two products is that much. Not so much in human years, but certainly in technology years, 5 years is a big deal. The issue I ran into in my recent trip was this. Although the eye detect feature of the R5 is active with the Sigma lens attached, the lens autofocus mechanism in combination with eye detect does not work properly. When using servo operation, which as mentioned is the continuous focus mode, the lens autofocus pulses back and forth and does not always lock on. Sometimes it does, and sometimes it doesn't. Or it locks on in front of or behind the actual focus point that you desire. Sigma recently admitted to another YouTube creator that this lens is, quote, not compatible, unquote, with eye detect plus autofocus when used in servo operation on the R series cameras of Canon. I guess I shouldn't be surprised with that 5-year difference in release dates, and it seems that when the Canon EOS R5 was released, Canon did declare that it would not fully support the Sigma telephoto zooms. Well, I guess I missed that announcement. Of the 2,200 images I shot on my recent trip, only about 1% shot with this camera and lens combination were in focus. Admittedly, quite a bit of that is my total inexperience with bird photography. I admit readily that most of my images had to be extensively cropped to get a decent framing. So what's the bottom line? It may seem like a great idea to match up a lower cost third-party lens with your camera body, and in most cases, it can work out well, especially if the information about the limitations of the lens, such as manual focus only in some cases, is available and is published. But with cameras becoming more computer-like every day, I suspect we will see more incompatibilities between camera and lens technologies, and we will see more impact of any age separation between them. It also seems that camera manufacturers are more reluctant to let lens producers look under that hood, which again might make this problem worse. As proof, almost 3 years after the first RF mount release, there are very few third-party RF mount lenses. The difficulty is that so many of us do match up these third-party lenses with our newest camera bodies. Unless you really research the details and dig behind the scenes, it's very likely that feature mismatches would not hit your radar in time to fully inform your purchase. I'm not sure what the answer is to this problem. Whose responsibility is it to put the information out there? It seems it's really up to people like me who discover the issue after the fact and provide it to you. So, I've taken the leap and upgraded to the native RF 100 to 500 lens built specifically for my camera line. At 1,610 grams or 3.45 pounds, there is a benefit out of the box. My early tests with autofocus show reliable quick locking on any eyes in the frame. I'll show more results as I get to know this new toy better. The big disadvantage over the Sigma is cost. At more than 3 times the cost of the third-party lens, the new lens does have a lot to prove. It was incredibly hard for me to decide to make this purchase. Something I suspect most senior citizen photographers would not do, even the ones with comfortable financial situations. Definitely the most expensive lens that I have ever purchased. I don't have any buyer's remorse though, just a bit of nervous tension still about the choice. This was not an impulse buy at all. I definitely weighed all the pros and cons before taking that plunge. As you can see, I still have the Sigma and will decide what to do with it over the coming weeks. It has served me well until now. It almost feels like I'm getting ready to say goodbye to an old friend. Anyway, thank you for watching. I hope this video was helpful. Let me know your experience with mismatched technologies in the comments below. And don't forget that like and subscribe thing. Thanks again. Hope to see you again soon.